I recently read 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself by Steve Chandler. Chandler has found 100 ways to increase motivation on command. I've tested Chandler's self-motivation methods, took the best 5, and turned them into a 5-day program, starting with Monday. Try the following 5-day program this week or next to see which of the 5 self-motivation methods increases your drive the most. Monday, meditate on your mortality. At age 40, Anthony Burgess was told he had an inoperable tumor and 1 year to live. Broke and wanting to leave something for his wife, he wrote 5 books in 11 months, hoping that his wife could collect royalties after his death. But he didn't die. His doctors had misdiagnosed his tumor. Burgess had a new lease on life, but kept his death in mind and used it as a powerful motivating force to write 70 books, including the hugely successful A Clockwork Orange, before dying at the age of 76. You may want to forget that you're going to die, but ignoring death dampens your drive to live. Wishing that life had no end is like wanting to play a basketball game that never ends. It might be enjoyable at first, but soon your intensity fades and your play gets sloppy. Chandler says, when we accept death, we experience a paradoxical sensation, the feeling of being born all over again. Use your death to live with more joy and intensity by sitting in bed for an extra minute in the morning to imagine that you're on your deathbed and people are coming into your room to say their goodbyes. After you hug and share final words with at least 3 people, open your eyes and realize that you have your health back and you get to make today your masterpiece, a perfect example of a well-lived day. If at any time you lack drive during the day, remember, you could have been on your deathbed this morning, saying your last goodbyes, but instead, you get another day to be the person you aspire to be. Tuesday, tell yourself, I am the problem. In the book, Chandler writes, whatever type of problem you're facing, the most self-motivational exercise I know of is to immediately say to yourself, I am the problem. Saying I am the problem immediately shifts you from victim to problem solver because you stop blaming a problem on people and circumstance and focus on what you can control: your attitude, your expectations, and your actions. When you declare, I am the problem, you're like a sailboat captain taking charge in a bad storm. Instead of cowering in the corner, you grab the wheel and instruct your crew to adjust the sails. By becoming the problem, you focus on what's within your control and regain control over your mind and your motivation. Wednesday, wildly exaggerate your goals. Select one professional goal you have, like earn $100,000 or get 2 new clients this month, and then wildly exaggerate it. Multiply it by 2 or 10. Now imagine someone holding a gun to your head and telling you to come up with at least 10 ways to hit that impossible goal. The creativity you experience after this exercise will surprise you and energize you. Steve Chandler used a similar mental exercise with his friend in sales. The friend wanted to sell $140,000 worth of equipment each month, but could only sell $100,000. So Chandler said, what would it take for you to sell $200,000 worth of equipment? $200,000? That's impossible, he said. I'm leading the team already with $100,000 in sales, and nobody thought that could be done. I understand, said Chandler, but setting an outrageous goal, such as $200,000, will open things up for you creatively that wouldn't have opened up if you stayed looking at $140,000. So his friend began listing things he could do to hit his impossible goal on a flip pad. After he got through the ridiculous ideas, like stealing other people's accounts or cooking the books, he listed ideas like renting out a hotel conference room, inviting 20 prospects in for coffee and donuts, and making a big deal out of it. He also thought of making sales calls during his travel time and starting an email newsletter to generate leads and upselling customers to a larger contract. 1 month later, the man sold $140,000 worth of equipment. Sometimes the only way to get unstuck is to wildly exaggerate a goal and come at it with a new perspective. The ideas you'll generate from this perspective will excite you, and the results will surprise you. Thursday, turn everything into a game. When I was in college, I could play poker all night, but when it came to do my school assignments, I typically lost my motivation after an hour. If I was to go back, I would bring 2 primary elements of poker and most other games to my schoolwork: competition and curiosity. I could have made my schoolwork more competitive by competing against the clock and striving to finish an assignment 1 minute quicker than yesterday, or challenging a friend to see who could score higher on a practice exam. I could have stayed curious while doing schoolwork, as I did at the poker table, waiting to see what card would come next, by frequently guessing answers to practice questions to see if I was right. Whatever you're doing, sprinkle in an element of competition by challenging your friends or challenging yourself to beat the clock. And then heighten your curiosity by always wondering how things will unfold to give yourself a steady dose of self-motivation. Friday, forward yourself the finished list. What if your mission was to inspire yourself tomorrow? How would you do it? I'd argue the best way to inspire yourself tomorrow would be to send yourself an email of the things you finished today. Reminding yourself of the things you finished reinforces your identity as a finisher. The more you feel like a finisher, the more likely you are to find the will to finish stuff and stay aligned with your self-image. Start the process of forwarding yourself your finished list by opening up a new email at the very start of your workday and write "things I finished" in the subject line. Then save it as a draft and populate it throughout the day. Then at the end of the workday, send the email to yourself using the send later function, so the email arrives in your inbox just after you wake up. If you have a bad habit of checking your email first thing in the morning, you'll see that email and remind yourself that you want to get things done and not waste time browsing email or social media. When you do this on Friday, you feel proud of what you got done during the week, and the week feels like a success. One thing you could reliably add to your finish list is a productivity game book summary. Not the incomplete book summaries you see on YouTube that come with YouTube ads and other video recommendations, but the complete productivity game book summaries you can download to your phone or computer and watch, listen to, and read offline. These complete summaries contain custom action plans that will help you strategically convert book knowledge into new behaviors that will give you the edge in your professional life. If you want to find out more, click the Productivity Game premium membership link in the description below. In the end, dedicate 5 days, this week or next, to testing one of the following self-motivation techniques to see if it lights up your internal fire and increases your drive. Meditate on your mortality. Tell yourself, "I am the problem." Wildly exaggerate your goals. Turn everything into a game. And forward yourself the finish list. That was the core message that I gathered from 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself by Steve Chandler. I read this book when I was 20 years old, and it fundamentally changed my life. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'll be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a productive week.